Let's take a look at beta exercise 1310, question 4. And I'll go through this now. So it says Francis uses a hand mower to mow a lawn. This table shows some observations of the area mown in square meters at various times. So, and again, we've got X and Y. We're told what goes on the X-axis, or what are the X coordinates and what are the Y coordinates. So we can draw that up pretty quickly. And it says use the information from the table to plot 3 points on a graph with X and Y axis, join the points to form a line. Okay, well, this is the easy bit. This is really cool. So we've got actually quite a long thing along the Y axis here. So I have to really plan for that. So we've got to go all the way up to 16, which really is about half the page. So I'm actually going to pull this right back. I'm going to come back like here so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go from here, and so we've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 or so. I'll just go down to there. My line's kind of gone off the page a little bit. It's gone off. It's not on the line anymore, but that's okay. So that's going to be okay for the Y, because Y goes up to quite far. X does not, though. X goes really not that far. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So this is where we'll see how badly I've drawn this. In fact, I'm looking at the question, and it says what would happen if you went for 10 minutes. Ooh. We're not going to be able to show that on the graph, okay? Simply because the graph would be too big. So I'm actually just going to draw the graph the way it is, and we'll be able to estimate that using other ways. Okay, so here we go. I'll just draw the Y-axis. Here we are. So here's my Y. And I'll just draw it from here. Here we go. So there's my Y. Sorry, my X, I beg your pardon. X-axis. And here's my Y-axis. And we're told X is going to be... in fact, I'll go zoom down. I'll go down a little bit first so you can see it. X is time in minutes. So I'm going to write along here. Time, and I'll put min here. Now there's no actual unit for minutes. You have to write minutes or min. Yeah, you can't write m because that would be meters. Y, what would Y? What's Y? Y is area mown. Yeah, so I'll put here. There's the area. I'll put mown, mown, and this is in square meters. Yeah, which are standard units. Okay, our 0 point is down here. That's fine. And it says use the point. So time. So 2. So this is coordinate 2 along, 6 up. So 2 along. Here we go. 1, 2, and 6 up. That would be 2, 4. There's 2 along, 6 up, right there. And I'm going to write the coordinates of this one. So it's going to be 2, 6. There it is. Okay, the next coordinate is going to be 3 along, 11. So 3, here's my 3, 1, 2, 3 along, and there's 6, so 8, 10, 11. That should be 11 right there. Let's just check it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and one more makes 11. So that's 3, 11. Okay, that's fantastic. And the last one's going to be 4, 16. So it's going to head quite a long way up. So here's my 4. There's 4, yeah. And it's going to be 16, so I'll start at 11, 11, 12, 14, 16. So 16 is going to be up here. So that's going to be 4, 16. There it is. And then it says, use information to plot 3 points and join the points to form a line. So that's my next thing. So I can actually do that, and I'm looking to see where that line is going to end up. So I'm going to take those points, there they are, and I'm going to end up, see as accurately as I can. Okay. So this is actually still heading south. I'm actually just going to make this a bit longer, actually. I want to see where it ends up on the y-axis, just a matter of interest. I keep the y-axis going down there. Here we are. This here would keep going down. Where's it going to end up? So it appears it's actually coming over here, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually negative 4. It looks like there's the y-intercept. That's interesting. Is that actually going to play out? Let's see, because it's really going down. It's going along 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along 1. Oh, maybe I've missed that point. Oh, well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Maybe it doesn't intersect there, but we'll soon find that out. All right. So it says use the information. So we've done a, what's the gradient of the line? Well, the gradient of the line is simply going to be, we've got 1 long and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 long and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the gradient, therefore, is going to be 1 and 5. So 1 is the run, and 5 is the rise. So it's rise over run, 5 over 1, so 5, so m equals 5. So that is the gradient, m equals 5. That's B. All right, write down the rule that makes this work. All right, and this is where I think we've run into a little bit of a problem here. Because I'm not sure where the intercept is. Let's have a look. And we can actually work this out, of course, but let's have a look. So I'm going to go further down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 long. Definitely passes through there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 long. Yes, it does pass through there. So this is a perfectly good point. So in that case, we can say we've got y is equal to, and we can see the intercept here is negative 4, so it's minus 4. The gradient is 5, so it must be 5x minus 4. And there is the rule, there is the line. So I can actually write along that line, put an arrow over here, so I can go y is equal to 5x minus 4. It's also worth noting, of course, it can't go, the area of the lawn can't be negative, yeah? So it's probably worth stating here that the y value, so I should say the y value must be greater, that must be 0 or greater, yes? Y has to be greater or equal to 0. Yeah, because y is the area. The area can't be less than 0 square meters. Yeah, so I would actually add that in, but I don't think you need to. All right, let's have a look what else we've got to do. So we've written down the rule for the mown time taken. Done. Assume Frances continues mowing at the same rate. What would she have mown after 10 minutes? Well, we don't really know that because it's at 10 is going to be all the way along here somewhere. And that's going to be all the way off this thing and way into the stratosphere. So we can actually work that out using the equation. So we know this is the x-axis. So if I was to make x 10, we could work out what that would be. So in 10 minutes, we could say in 10 minutes, we could say y would be 5 times 10, that's my x value, minus 4. Well, y would be, that's 50 minus 4, and 50 minus 4, y is going to equal 46, and that's going to be square meters. So, of course, mine goes up to about, well, there's 16, yeah? 17, 18, 19, 20. My graph goes all the way up to 20, but if it's going to measure it on the graph, it would need to go all the way up to 46 square meters. So my graph obviously doesn't show that. All right, so that's D. And E, it says explain whether there are any values for x for which the equation would not work. Any values for x for which the equation would not work? Yes, well, x cannot be less than this point here, yeah? So whatever that point is there, x can't go on this side of it. Because if x, say, was over here, it would be somewhere down here. If x was here, it would be all the way down here. If x was here, it would be all the way down here. Or if x was here, it It'd be all the way down here somewhere, yeah? So x cannot be less than this point here. Well, what is that point? Let's find out. So, of course, another name for the x-axis is the y equals 0 line. So let's make y equals 0 and find out what that point actually is. So I'm going to say, well, y is 5x minus 4. If I make that 0, we're going to find out the point where it intersects with the y equals 0 line. So because this is y is 0, now make y equals 0, there it is. And this is the x-axis, or the y equals 0 line. So if I make y equals 0, that point there is going to be what the solution is. So let's have a look. It's equal to 5x minus 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides, plus 4 plus 4. So I got 5x is equal to 4. So if I divide both sides by 5, x is equal to 4/5, or if you like, 0.8. So this point here is 4/5, or 0.8. So x cannot be less than 0.8. So I'll put here, x must be equal or greater than 4/5, or 0.8. Because if it was less than, let's say for example it was a half, there's a half, and it would mean it was somewhere down here would be where a half was, and that would indicate the area mown was a negative area. And you can't have a negative area, you can't have a negative distance. So it can't be less than 0.8. If it is 0.8, by the way, the area mown is 0. You can have an area of 0 mown, but not less than 0. So that is how I would answer that question. So this here would be x is going to have to be greater than a 0.8 for that reason. All right, folks, hope that's useful.